Chapter 1. The document that should not exist. 3 months from now, his name will appear in an internal training bulletin, not as a warning, not as a success story, as a case study in analytic overextension. Junior analysts will read about a senior colleague who identified a structural distortion over a limited time horizon. They will study how expanded variables corrected the misinterpretation. They will not know it was him. He will know. 3 months from now, he will be sitting in a smaller office on a lower floor. No classified terminals, no access to live feeds, no invitations to high-level briefings. His badge will still open doors, just not the important ones. No one will accuse him of anything. There will be no formal reprimand. He will simply stop being relevant. But tonight, at 2:17 in the morning, he has no idea. The analytical wing is nearly dark. Motion sensors blink on as he walks past, then fade behind him. Somewhere deeper in the building, servers hum steadily, processing fragments of the world that never really sleep. He sets the final printed pages on his desk. 7 years of operations, threat assessments, escalation memos, confidence scores, language that grows sharper over time. Imminent, critical, high confidence. He did not begin with suspicion. He began with a question. Why are post-operation reassessments almost never lower than the original threat level? Why do preliminary assumptions survive contradictory updates? And why does caution seem to move in only one direction? Up. At first it looked like noise, a statistical tremor. Something explainable. Then he ran the model again, and again, 11 times in total. The pattern held. When an individual or network was labeled high risk once, later analysis tended to interpret new information through that frame. Neutral signals leaned toward confirmation, ambiguity favored reinforcement. Lowering a threat classification required far more evidence than raising it. There was no fabrication, no hidden conspiracy, just institutional momentum. And momentum, in intelligence work, can start to resemble truth. He scrolls to the paragraph he has rewritten 6 times. In retrospective comparison of projected threat severity and subsequent verified capability, several cases suggest interpretive inflation beyond corroborated evidence available at the time of authorization. He pauses, deletes interpretive inflation, types elevated certainty, deletes that too. Finally, categorical framing. Language matters here. A single word can turn professional concern into implied accusation. He knows this. He has drafted enough assessments himself. He includes no names, but he includes 3 case references. One involved a target later assessed as having limited operational capability. Another triggered a diplomatic rupture that took years to repair. A third remains classified at the highest internal tier. He does not describe the aftermath. He does not speculate. He stays methodological. Technical survives longer. He checks the distribution protocol. It routes automatically to senior review under analytic integrity oversight. No shortcuts, no external circulation. He hesitates for 4 seconds, not because he fears being wrong, because he understands what happens if he is right. At 2:17, he presses send. The document enters the encrypted channel. A reference number is generated. Transmission logged. Downstairs in a windowless server room, an automated monitoring system assigns the memorandum a category: institutional destabilization vector. It is not a moral judgment. It is a forecast. 6 minutes later, a secure notification appears on the deputy director's terminal. He reads it before sunrise. He does not begin with the data. He begins with implication. If escalation bias has existed, even partially, then some authorizations over the past 7 years may require reinterpretation, and reinterpretation invites scrutiny. Scrutiny invites oversight. Oversight invites politics. Politics does not evaluate nuance. It evaluates consequence. By 8:30, a closed meeting is underway. The discussion is calm, controlled, almost polite. Is the analysis technically flawed? Possibly not. Is it incomplete? Certainly. Is it destabilizing? Yes. One participant states it quietly. Confidence is a strategic asset. Public doubt is a liability. Another adds something sharper. Correctness is not an operational category. Stability is. No one suggests punishment. He followed protocol. He stayed internal. He used the proper channel. That is precisely the complication. If ignored, he may refine the model and widen the scope. If challenged directly, attention intensifies. If disciplined, every analyst watching will draw conclusions. So the deputy director asks a different question. What is the minimum intervention required to neutralize downstream impact? Silence lingers. Then the approach forms, almost gently. Do not attack the argument, dilute its authority, expand required datasets, mandate extended peer review, reclassify key references as context-dependent, frame the memorandum as exploratory rather than structural. And, importantly, adjust how the author is perceived, not publicly, subtly. A notation about analytic intensity, a recommendation for resilience evaluation, a reminder that prolonged retrospective modeling can distort proportionality. No accusation, just reframing. The meeting ends with a sterile entry in the internal record. Further methodological calibration recommended. Later that afternoon, he is invited to discuss his work. The tone is warm. He is thanked for diligence, told the memorandum is thoughtful, important. He is asked whether he considered broader volatility indices. Alternative weighting, expanded timelines. He answers carefully, calmly. He leaves the room believing a rigorous process has begun. He does not see the separate internal thread open parallel to his file. Not disciplinary, categorical. He remains loyal. That part has not changed. He believes, genuinely, that questioning methodology strengthens institutions. That is the paradox. Inside a system built to assess threat, the most destabilizing element is not external hostility. It is internal doubt that survives analysis. And somewhere in the building, without raised voices or visible conflict, the system has already made its decision. The findings will be reviewed, the language will be softened, the narrative will be adjusted, the author will remain. But slowly, carefully, professionally, he will stop being trusted where decisions are made. He pressed send at 2:17 in the morning, thinking he had submitted a memorandum. In reality, he initiated an operation. And he is the only target. Chapter 2. The neutralization. The first change is so small, he almost misses it. His access still works. His credentials remain active. Nothing has been formally revoked. And yet, 3 days after the memorandum, a briefing that normally arrives at 6:30 appears in his inbox at 7:48. Attached note, preliminary draft, not for strategic citation. He reads that line twice. The language inside the briefing is softer than usual. confidence levels widened, probability bands stretched. It almost echoes his own argument. Almost. Later that morning, he receives a formal request to expand his model, not casually, officially. A methodological review panel has been assembled. 5 analysts, 2 statisticians, 1 behavioral specialist. On paper, it is an opportunity. Institutional transparency, peer validation, collaborative rigor. He agrees immediately. Why would he not? Peer validation is how correction is supposed to work. The first session feels professional, calm, focused. One statistician questions his baseline selection. Why 7 years? Why not 10? Another suggests that regional instability variables may not have been weighted proportionally. The behavioral specialist notes, in measured language, that retrospective analysis often amplifies perceived anomaly clusters. All reasonable points. He adjusts parameters, expands the dataset, reruns projections. The pattern remains. But the tone in the room shifts, almost imperceptibly. The discussion moves from whether escalation bias exists to whether escalation bias might serve a strategic function. What appears inflated in hindsight may act as deterrence in real time, someone suggests. The conversation bends, subtly, away from accuracy and toward utility. He notices. He tries to redirect. The issue is methodological consistency, he says, not strategic signaling. The panel chair nods politely. Of course. But methodology cannot be separated from operational context. That phrase lingers. The meeting ends without resolution. 2 days later, another development. A routine performance review is moved forward on his calendar. The explanation is procedural. Holistic evaluation cycle adjustment. During the review, his supervisor praises his analytical discipline, then, carefully, adds a qualifier. You pursue structural critique with notable intensity. That can be valuable. We simply need to ensure it does not narrow objectivity. Narrow objectivity. He asks for clarification. The supervisor smiles, not unkindly. Extended retrospective focus can sometimes compress proportionality. He hears the vocabulary shift. Outside the formal meetings, small signals begin to circulate. A colleague mentions that leadership considers the memorandum preliminary. Another comments that retrospective modeling can exaggerate deviation if context is incomplete. Someone jokes that he is auditing history. He never used the word audit. He logs into the internal portal and reopens his memorandum. The content is unchanged, but above it now sits a banner, exploratory draft, under extended peer review. He did not add that label. He feels for the first time a thin thread of unease. That evening, he runs the expanded 10-year model. He integrates broader volatility indices, adjusts weighting coefficients, increases contextual variables. The escalation curve flattens slightly. It does not disappear. He prepares a supplementary memo clarifying this. He hesitates before sending it, for reasons he cannot fully articulate. The following week, an invitation appears on his calendar. Psychological Resilience Seminar, mandatory rotation for senior analysts engaged in high-volume threat review. He scans the participant list. Most are junior analysts. He is the only senior member scheduled this quarter. He attends. The facilitator speaks about cognitive rigidity, about how prolonged exposure to adversarial data environments can create unintentional framing bias. Several phrases feel familiar. structural fixation, anomaly amplification, retrospective distortion. He writes them down anyway. Halfway through, he realizes something unsettling. The language mirrors the vocabulary from his performance review, not identical, aligned. After the seminar, he returns to his desk and opens the system log attached to his memorandum. No edits to the core document, but 5 supplementary commentary files have been attached by the review panel. He opens the first. The conclusion is not that his model is wrong. It is that it reflects analytic compression during periods of heightened geopolitical volatility. The second reframes one of his strongest case references as context-dependent. The third suggests that downward threat revision may introduce strategic exposure. He leans back in his chair. They are not dismantling his findings, they are surrounding them. Days later, a high-level strategic briefing circulates. Normally, he would contribute to its drafting. This time, he receives it as read only. No explanation. He scrolls through the slides. On one page, he sees a familiar structure, his model, expanded and annotated. Below it, a sentence. Recent analytic recalibrations reaffirm the necessity of maintaining conservative escalation thresholds in dynamic threat environments. Recalibrations. His memorandum has been converted into evidence supporting continuity. He closes the file slowly. There is no anger yet, only displacement. That afternoon, he is informed that, due to workload redistribution, he will temporarily transition to a secondary portfolio. Emerging cyber finance networks. Important, certainly, but peripheral to core authorization modeling. Temporary. He nods. He understands workload redistribution. He has recommended it in other cases. As he begins clearing part of his desk, a realization settles in. No one has declared him wrong. No one has silenced him. But the center of gravity has shifted, and he is no longer standing at it. Upstairs, in a secure office, the deputy director reviews a short summary. Impact vector contained. Author engagement ongoing. Perception recalibrated within division. He signs off. From an institutional standpoint, the intervention is proceeding smoothly. Back at his desk, the analyst reopens his original file. He reads the sentence he revised 6 times. He understands now that the debate was never solely about data. It was about authority. Authority does not defend itself by arguing every point. It adjusts relevance. He glances at the clock. 2:17 in the afternoon. Exactly 12 hours removed from the minute that began this. A thought settles in with unexpected clarity. They are not trying to prove him wrong. They are making him peripheral. And for the first time since pressing send, he feels something sharper than professional concern. He feels fear. Chapter 3. The Reclassification. 3 months after he pressed send, the correction is complete. No announcement marks it. No formal conclusion is circulated. It simply becomes true. He discovers it in fragments. First, a denial that appears procedural. He attempts to reopen the highest tier case file referenced in his memorandum. Access restricted. He checks his clearance level. Unchanged. He submits a contextual authorization request. The reply arrives 20 minutes later. Authorization unnecessary for current portfolio alignment. Portfolio alignment. The phrase is neutral, almost polite. It means he no longer works in a space that requires remembering what he questioned. The door has not been locked. The hallway has been redirected. A few days later, he attends a strategic briefing as an observer. Second row, no speaking role. A slide appears on the screen. He recognizes the curve before the title loads. Year 4, inflection. Year 6, acceleration. The architecture is unmistakable. It is his model, expanded, layered with additional volatility metrics and cross-domain variables, adjusted weighting. Below the graph, expanded modeling confirms adaptive escalation alignment consistent with deterrence optimization. Deterrence optimization. The room nods. A senior official speaks confidently about institutional agility and responsible recalibration, about how expanded data integration reinforces confidence in current thresholds. No one mentions the original concern. No one references upward drift. His work is not dismissed. It is absorbed. And absorption is more permanent than rejection. After the briefing, a colleague approaches him with easy familiarity. "Interesting evolution of your framework," she says. "Good that leadership moved quickly to correct the distortion risk." Distortion risk. He almost asks what distortion. He does not. Because he understands something in that moment that he had resisted until now. The narrative has already settled. His caution has been reframed as compression, his pattern as overreach, his doubt as imbalance. Later that afternoon, the administrative notice arrives. His reassignment to long-range financial disruption mapping is now permanent. The language is generous. Your analytical intensity is particularly well-suited to deep horizon environments. Analytical intensity. He reads the phrase again. It sounds like recognition. It feels like containment. He signs electronically. There is nothing to contest. The move is lateral on paper. Compensation unchanged. Clearance intact. And yet, that evening, at home, he attempts once more to access the archived damage assessments tied to the diplomatic rupture he cited. Contextual authorization required. He submits the request again, this time adding a justification note. Request logged. Review pending. It will remain pending. A week later, a training bulletin circulates across the division, maintaining balance in retrospective threat modeling. He opens it casually at first, then more slowly. The case study describes a senior analyst who identified apparent escalation bias over a limited time horizon. It explains how expanded variables and broader context corrected the distortion. There's a paragraph highlighted for emphasis. Retrospective compression can generate false pattern recognition when broader volatility variables are excluded. False pattern recognition. He reads the line twice. His name does not appear. It does not need to. The structure mirrors his memorandum exactly. The timeline, the case references, even the model's curve. He closes the document. For the first time since this began, the impact is physical. His pulse stutters. His hands feel cold against the desk. It is not that they proved him wrong. It is that they converted him into a lesson. Upstairs, a final internal summary circulates. Impact vector contained, narrative stabilized, author repositioned, no external leakage detected. The deputy director signs it without comment. From an institutional perspective, the matter is resolved. Weeks pass. He performs his new role with precision. Reports delivered on time. No deviation, no visible dissent. He does not leak. He does not resign. He does not confront leadership. He understands the geometry now. If he protests, it confirms instability. If he withdraws, it confirms fragility. If he escalates externally, it confirms disloyalty. Every exit has been pre-labeled. One evening, he stays late. The building is quiet again, like it was that night. He walks past the conference room where the first review session took place. The chairs are aligned neatly. The table is spotless. Nothing suggests that anything consequential ever happened there. He checks the time. 2:17 in the morning. The symmetry is almost cruel. He stands still and asks himself, finally, the question he has postponed. Was I wrong? He replays the data in his mind. The upward tilt was real. The resistance to downward revision measurable. But another realization follows, slower. Institutions built to prevent catastrophic underestimation will tolerate degrees of overestimation. Because the political cost of underreacting is immediate and visible. The cost of gradual overreaction disperses. It blends into policy. From leadership's perspective, they preserved cohesion. From his, they constrained inquiry. Both positions can coexist. That is what unsettles him most. He returns in his office and opens a blank document. He types a single sentence. Accuracy and stability diverge at scale. He stares at it, then deletes it. He does not press send. He understands now that the boundary is not about truth. It is about tolerated doubt. Months later, during a team discussion, a junior analyst references the training bulletin. We have to be careful about retrospective distortion, she says confidently. He nods. He does not correct her. Institutional memory has already been edited. The memorandum still exists in the archive, so does his authorship. But its meaning has been reclassified, not incorrect, instructive. He turns off the lights in his office. Down the corridor, servers continue calculating probabilities about the world. Threat levels adjust. Confidence metrics update. Escalation thresholds hold. The institution remains intact, and somewhere inside, it lives a quiet recalibration, not of data, of doubt. He pressed send at 2:17 in the morning, believing he was strengthening the system. What he did not understand then is this. The system strengthened itself by correcting him. Psychological analysis. The analyst. He is not a dissenter by temperament. His cognitive style is structured, evidence-driven, internally disciplined. High tolerance for ambiguity, but low tolerance for unresolved inconsistency. He does not seek confrontation, he seeks coherence. What destabilized him was not opposition, it was reinterpretation. When institutions absorb criticism without acknowledging it, the critic experiences a form of epistemic displacement. The data remains, the logic remains, but the surrounding meaning shifts. Over time, this produces a specific strain of moral injury, not from wrongdoing, but from witnessing reframing. He does not collapse, he adapts, but something narrows inside him. Future memoranda will be shorter, more cautious, slightly less ambitious, not because he learned he was wrong, because he learned where doubt becomes liability. The leadership. They are not villains. Their cognitive framework prioritizes systemic stability over granular precision. From their vantage point, uncertainty at scale introduces cascading risk, diplomatic, political, operational. Their reasoning is probabilistic, not emotional. If underestimation carries visible catastrophic consequences, while overestimation diffuses gradually, the safer institutional bias is clear. They did not silence him out of insecurity. They neutralized him out of risk management. Psychologically, This is organizational self-preservation. The system protects continuity first, correction second. Whether that order is sustainable is a different question. The institution intelligence systems are built around asymmetrical fear. Fear of missing a threat outweighs fear of overstating one. Over time, this asymmetry shapes analytical culture. Escalation becomes safer than de-escalation. Confidence becomes protective. Doubt becomes combustible. When doubt emerges internally, it triggers the same mechanisms designed for external threats: identification, containment, reclassification. No accusation is required. The most effective neutralization is not removal, it is reinterpretation. Final reflection. No documents were destroyed. No careers publicly ended. No rules visibly broken. The institution continued functioning. And yet something changed. The analyst learned the boundary of tolerated doubt. The leadership reinforced the boundary of tolerated instability. The system grew more cohesive. Whether it also grew less perceptive is impossible to measure. That uncertainty, quiet, unrecorded, structurally absorbed, may be the most important outcome of all.